Oh, excellent, excellent. Just my day just got better knowing that we got what we got going tonight. So
It,
I'm ready to go.
it's a crazy night tonight. I get to have two of my favorite coaches on. Man, isn't that crazy? One episode.
Oh man.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I've got first off, I've got the Godfather. What's up, Nate? How you doing?
Doing well, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there he is. One of the greatest local coaches I've ever met in my lifetime. Everything I know about sports, good or bad, is Nate's fault, you guys. So we'll blame him for all that I know about
There you
sports.
go.
I'm just kidding, Nate. Nate, I'm glad to have you. Tonight's a special one, guys. With it being kind of an Oklahoma themed night, I've always like to start off with some trivia or some facts, if you will. So I've got a couple things, guys, that are pretty important. Did you know, Dane, you should know this, that Oklahoma is the home of the pecan pie? Did you know that?
All right. That's one of
You
my
know that?
favorite things. Oh yeah, I
There you
didn't
go.
know that, but that's just great. Man, we're in great company.
Yeah, man. Did
Heck
you know,
yeah.
Nate? This is one for you, Nate. Did you know Oklahoma was the first state to deploy the parking meter with quarters? Did you know that?
Somehow that just doesn't surprise me.
Right? It's crazy. I will tell you this: it had one of the first pigeon museums of all things we're known for. Great sports, great athletes, and all that. Oklahoma is also known for a pigeon museum. Did you know that, Dane?
All right. That's
Crazy, huh?
Oh yeah, that's where do you dig these things up at? I don't know. I'm listening to them and I don't know whether I should laugh, be interested, or just shake my head of the whole thing.
Well, you read everything on the internet, and I was reading this post by Albert Einstein that he just put. I'm kidding. So no, it's just some stuff I find, man. So, but what is even better than that? One of the best things to come out of Oklahoma, one of our favorite coaches. All seriousness, the only way we'd ever put on orange and white. You see that, and this is something that the joke, the legend gets bigger every time. But one of the most gracious and, in my opinion, one of the best coaches I've ever got a chance to meet.
Yep.
The legend Coach G returns for a video to show his pearly whites. Coach, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me back, and you guys look incredible in those shirts.
You see that?
Thank
Man,
you.
that's
Yeah.
for you, Coach. Yeah, man.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you for that and everything
Great
you've done
stuff.
for us so far. So
I love it.
thanks for coming on.
Coach, we're so grateful to get to hang out with you. I know, Nate, you had some great memories of the recent trip. Is that right, Nate? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach G and Shippy, they extended an opportunity for our chaos organization to come down and get some, quality instruction from some quality, instructors and some kids that they look up to. So yeah, it was amazing, and we're very grateful for it.
Yeah. You're Coach, I love the way everyone was so open and just inviting, and I'm telling you, man, it was one of the greatest experiences in all of sports, and I've been to millions of games, man, so thank you. We've got a fresh set of questions for you, Coach, a little bit different than last time, so I'm gonna go first with this one. Coach G, my first one, when you think about this last year, I loved watching you. My daughter, she you probably heard her scream a couple times actually. It's we were there for World Series. What's your biggest victory you guys take back from this last season?
Oh, that's a deep one. I don't know. I think, just, getting back to OKC again, I think that's probably got to be at the top of that list. Getting somebody, I think, when you go on a personal basis, somebody like a Rachel Becker, who's never played in a postseason game, and in her first postseason in 5 years, gets to OKC, and to watch that kid run onto that field for the first time. I think it was probably the first time I actually saw her nervous and maybe not herself for just a quick moment, but she got it under control and really played well.
I love it, man. Yeah. I think those victories, because again, man, it's perennial powerhouse. Like I told, when we had the blessing of meeting you last year, and I tell the story that fateful day when we answered the phone, I was like, oh my gosh. And then ever since we had that privilege of meeting you, just the success that you have had, and how much people love you, the things that you do. It's like we could talk about victories on the field. That's great, but I almost want to talk about some of those victories off the field, man. So that's good to hear that one, Coach. I love to hear that. Dan, you want to go with the second one, man?
Yeah, I mean, and even expanding on what Josh said, some of the stuff off of the field. What are obviously everybody's seen the victories. We've watched them time and again on the internet and live as well. What is something that off the field that you have one of the fondest memories of this year?
I think it's a pretty easy one when I think about that, just on the spot here. When we went, we typically, when the season When the regular season ends, we take our team to Broken Bow. It's a small town in southeastern Oklahoma, one of the most beautiful lakes that you've ever seen. We rent a couple of cabins. We watch the selection show there, and we've done that the last 3 years, I think. And this year, we really didn't know where we were going to be. I mean, we obviously knew that we were in the postseason. We're a top 10 team with a top 5 RPI, but we didn't finish the season in a great way. I mean, we lost 11 of our last 13 games. So, so when we were sitting there, when that show started, and to see our name, I think it popped up at 5. I think it was 5 or 6. To see the reaction out of our team was the most genuine, unstaged reaction that I can maybe remember in a long time. It really struck me that it was a learning curve for me as a coach. I think I got caught up as well in trying to protect something that didn't matter, like a ranking. And we were trying to protect this top 8 seed so bad that we forgot that we still needed to just play. And we lose 11 to 13 games. We have no idea if we're going to be a super regional, a top 8 seed, and to see our name pop up at either 5 or 6, it was epic. And the reaction was just something that I'll never, ever forget.
Man, that's Nate. I think about, Nate, as we go into your question, Nate, I think about the memory we had when you were coaching our developmental team last year, Nate, when Dane and I called the Unified 10. It was a 10U, 12U game, and it's like the 7 innings, man, for 12-year-olds, and just the elation of the fans. So I can only, just a small parcel of what we felt. I can imagine what you guys feel. So Nate, if you want to go ahead with that next one, man.
Yeah, sure. So, Coach, as a coach, every year you've got ups, you've got downs, you've got the roller coaster of the season. As coaches, we're always looking and trying to grab the positives out of everything that we can to, help keep that momentum moving in the right direction. You mentioned it a moment ago about, you forgot that you still had to play, right? So maybe what is the biggest lesson that you take from this last season that's going to help really strengthen you for the next season?
Well, the losses, are just, I look at them as opportunities to learn. And so I think, the biggest lesson is just, I guess it would just be paying attention as close of attention to our kids, and remind them that, hey, we can't protect something that doesn't have any value. We have to just be the best version of us every day. And it was a tough stretch, but I'll tell you, one of the things that I can share, one of our players, we were in a meeting in the postseason, and we were talking about things and going through some things. We were really starting to get on a good streak again. And we worked with this guy named Brett Ledbetter. If you've never met this guy, I've never seen him. He has a company called What Drives Winning, and he's an award-winning author, but he's a human performance coach. So he's not a mental coach. He's a human performance coach. So he's developing the people skills of these kids and these coaches. And we were talking through some really tough things. And one of our kids said, the craziest thing about that 11 or 13 game a run where we lost 11 of those games, the coolest thing for us as kids, or as these athletes were, it was almost weird to keep hearing Coach G talk like we hadn't lost one game, and just keeping that. I've always talked about, I'm a half full guy. Like, I'm always got my glass is always half full. It's not half empty. And I just kept telling them, I said, I think I am believing in you more than you're believing in yourself. And so it's just reminding myself that I got to keep these kids going, figuring out ways to take pressure off them, reminding them to just play the game like the 8-year-old kid in the backyard. because that's the kid that wasn't playing for anything other than the love and just having a blast. And you never wanted to go inside. Now these kids have so many distractions, so many things that's at their fingertips, and it's so much instant gratification that sometimes going through these tough spells are not a bad thing. And so I'm not sure if I answered the question the way you needed it, but that's kind of just me, just being me to remind myself to don't be adding more pressure. Make sure you're taking pressure away from these guys.
Oh man.
And that's pretty refreshing, to hear at, the Division I level. We have a really strong motto within Chaos that I believe at my very core, we try to keep it as simple as possible. And I believe that we only can control two things 100% in our whole life. And that's going to be our attitude and our effort. And everything else is a simple byproduct of those two things combining. And so to hear that, simplifying things and keeping them, within a manageable distance at the Division I level it's the same story. We're just doing it at a younger age and at a younger level. So to see that the correlation between those two things at a Division I and a young travel ball or youth travel ball organization really lets me know that, maybe we're on the right path and we're continuing to go down the right roads.
Totally agreed.
Yeah.
Well, so my two favorite coaches from 10 to 12 to 18, you have the same philosophy. Dan, I'm loving this, man. Go ahead, Dan, with the next one, man.
I'm running out of space to write things as you guys talk.
Yeah.
So now,
it's all good, Dan.
I about lost my feed there. Now, Coach G, whenever you guys, what's next for you now that all the players and the students are starting to come back to school? They're maybe going to get into the swing of things. You have new girls coming in, the girls going to upper class, looking to do some leadership. What are some of the things that are now on the horizon to help your team, kind of coalesce, come together and, get together during the fall? What do you guys have on slate now for your team as you go forward?
Well, I can tell you this. I personally have a little 8-day trip that I'm getting ready to take. That's what I need, and that's probably what our team thinks I need to get somewhere and just get unplugged and recharge. We've been going crazy with recruiting and all that stuff and camps and everything. So, but for us as a team, I think I may be as excited about a season as I've been in a long time. We have one girl who's been in our program this will be her third or fourth year. One girl. The rest of this team, they're either in their first or their second year here at OSU. So with all these COVID kids that we've had,
that's good. We'll give it a second. We'll cut that part in.
I'm excited because we've just got so many new faces. We've got last year we worked really hard to define what the Cowgirl way is and what our standards are. And with a new group, we get to really implement that. So I'm excited about that. Just the newness of all these kids. We're very talented. Don't give me. We are talented. But I'm excited about that. And then, we'll start off with things like we hire a company called The Program. If you don't know much about them, Google them. It's an incredible organization that comes in and does some team building. They come in and kind of physically crush your team for a couple of days. I think this year we're going to spend a day in the wrestling room. So we've got that going. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But it's about toughness. It's about team. It's about the person right next to you. And we'll start that. And that's one of the things that we've done the last year. It went very well, and we'll do that from here on out.
We talked to me and Scotland. We're talking about that. I love Scotland's awesome. We were talking about that when we were standing around in between drills, and she's like, "I have never sweated so hard in my life." She's talking about how it breaks it down and builds you back up. And she's like, "Dude, you'll come out of there like, oh, they're a different person. So we were talking through that. That's really cool, man. I'm glad that you're doing those type of things. And it's a neat, different type of chemistry. And no wonder you guys are at the top. And she was like, it was almost like that to her when they were breaking that down, Coach. She was like, that was harder than playing like a weekend tournament. Like that was the hardest thing, but the most fun thing, right? So I think you're onto something, man.
Yeah.
So
no question.
So, Coach, we did it last time, and now we told you we have to redeem ourselves. We've advanced as you guys have evolved. Dane and I have evolved our rapid fire. Now we bet on it. Now it's on DraftKings. It's a big thing. No, not really DraftKings, but it's pretty cool. So it's gotten better. So Dane and I and Coach Nate. So Nate, what I'm going for, Nate, if I beat you, I'd like you to let me play it first, okay, Nate, on the upcoming tournament. And Dane, if I beat you, I get lunch, okay? Fair enough?
All right. Well, another one. I think I'm way behind on these. I owe you so many lunches that I got to move in and become your private chef or something by now.
Let's go.
I've seen your picking skills, Josh. I don't know if first is the spot for you, man.
I appreciate that. But Dane, you got your picks. Nate, you got yours right. You're ready to go on the rapid fire. So, Coach, you know the drill, man. These are some fresh ones you have to answer. You can't not answer, okay? No matter how awkward or weird it is, you got to give an answer, okay? So,
all right.
Is
it a long answer or a short answer?
It'll be short. There'll be short ones. Okay. So first one. Right. So you're called away from while you're out on your 8-day tournament. You are called up to be a celebrity guest coach for 2 of these obscure events. Not your typical sports, not the big 4. You have to be someone's performance coach in either A, a badminton championship, or B, a World Series of Poker championship. You have to be their coach and tell them what to do. Are you going to be a badminton coach for that weekend or a World Series of Poker coach for that weekend?
Badminton for sure. I'm terrible at poker.
Dane, I had it. What'd you have, Dane?
Yeah, I had badminton. Oh yeah, you can teach them to swing. It's all a different motion, but still smashing that ball.
Nate, did you have that one?
I had badminton. Forehand, backhands. I could see it all day.
Let's go. I love it. Coach, question 2. So all of next season, one of the team builder exercises, just like you put the girls through the ringer with the program, the girls all say you have to do something different this next season. You know how every coach goes out and they do the handshake and they begin the game. From now on, for all of season of 2024, you can't just walk out there and shake hands. You have to do one of these 2 things. In the spirit of the Cowgirl way, you have to ride up on a horse and shake the guy's hand every game, or ride up on the back of an ATV, with a little bandana on, a Cowgirl bandana. Are you going to ride up on a horse or an ATV? What you doing, Coach?
Oh, it's easy, a horse.
Let's go. 2 for 2. 2 for 2. Dane, would you have?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's easy. That's an easy one. A horse, man. Always got it.
Did you have that? Did you have that one, Nate?
Yeah. Who's not coming in on a horse?
That's strong.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Next one. So this is one, Coach. So this is going to hurt your soul a little bit. Okay. So let's just say you and all of your Big 12 coaches, you guys have a little bet, right? You guys are playing a game of Yahtzee. You're sitting around, you and just the Big 12 coaches in softball, and sitting around, and the loser of this game has to get a tattoo of one of these 2 teams. You know I'm going with this on their bicep. You got to go with an Oklahoma or a Texas tattoo on the bicep after losing in Yahtzee. Which one are you going with, man?
Buddy, there's no way. There's no way I'm going with Texas. No way I'm going with Texas.
There we go. I love it. I love it.
I can justify the OU.
Maybe like slide an S in there one day.
Yeah.
I love it. Dane, did you have that one?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What about you, Nate? Did you have that one?
Yeah, we don't put Texas on anything. So yeah.
I love it. So Coach, 2 more. So you are as being a great performance coach, mentor, all those kind of things. You're asked to be from the great state of Oklahoma. There's a lot of great country artists that come out of Oklahoma. Okay, so you are asked to be the hype man, the MC, the maestro for the evening for one of these 2 artists. That come to Cowgirl Stadium. They're going to do a show for it, but you're the hype man. Are you bringing the hype for Garth Brooks or Toby Keith? Which one are we going with?
Come on, I got to go Garth Brooks. That's easy. Yeah. OSU alum.
Yeah. I didn't have that. I really didn't have that one. I didn't, man. I really didn't. I thought just from – I didn't. I even knew that too when I was looking at it, but I didn't have that. Nate, did you have that?
Yeah, for sure. Isn't Toby Keith from Norman?
Hey, but it's more so about, I was just looking at there's something about the cowboy songs, the way he approaches it. I was like, I thought I had you on that one. Okay. So last one, time doesn't exist. You guys get to go back and take your current squad but you guys got to transplant yourself back into the 80s. And there's two companies that want to sponsor you. A lot of times AU does this, Rakuten, a lot of teams get sponsorships and all that. We do it too. You get to have one of these two iconic franchises sponsor OSU. A, old school Light Bright, love it. Or B, Atari gets to be your sponsor for the season. Light Bright or Atari? Which one are you going with?
Atari.
Oh my gosh, I bottomed out. I had Light Bright, baby. Oh my gosh.
No,
Dave,
did
you have
Atari all the way?
Oh yeah, we're products of the 70s and 80s. Atari all the way.
Right.
Man.
That's right.
Nate, did you have that too?
Yeah, I had Atari. You're just too young, Josh, man.
Man, okay.
Josh, you don't even know what that is.
I do
know what Atari is.
I saw it in that museum. I'm kidding.
That's
right. Totally kidding, Coach. I'm kidding,
Yeah.
Coach. You guys are all scrapping young lads. I'm just playing. Well, thank you, Coach, for let's come back. And Dane and Nate, you guys tied, so you guys figure that one out because I'm out. So I love it. Well,
Dane,
thank you, Coach.
Dane, you get to play first base.
All
Okay.
right, yeah. My
There you
dream
go.
comes true. There we go.
There it is. You've been waiting for it. So the last segment, I'll give it back to Coach Nate. Kind of ended on that segment. So go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, Coach, this has been a really cool opportunity to have an opportunity just to speak with you about some things. And for me, I just had some, our organization's grown to 12 teams this year and, continue to grow next year. We do things, 100% volunteer. We don't pay anybody here. Everything is done from the goodwill of good people. But as we get to these older ages, there's things that I want to make sure that our girls have in their tool bag so that they can be prepared to impress at whatever level, D1, D2, D3, NAI, whatever it is. So what are some of the things as you've been out recruiting, what are some of the mistakes that some of these kids are making when they're trying to be noticed by programs?
I think some of the things that I see, first off, a lot of these kids play way too much and they don't develop enough. And so what happens is they go out to impress by playing every weekend. And in turn, what it does is it wears you down. And so I think we play too much. We don't practice enough and we're not in love with practice. If you're not in love with practice, you're probably not going to you're not going to be a fit at OSU. So I want to see kids that are in love with the process, not kids that, are up and down. I like to see that steady Eddie kid. I like to see what you look like when you fail. I think it may be the most important trait that you can have, because I want to be able to be around kids, coach kids that I can't tell if they're 3 for 3. Those are the type of kids that I love. Now that doesn't mean that you can't show emotion. That doesn't mean you can't do that kind of stuff. I'm okay with a little bit of frustration. I'm okay with some passion. But it's just how it's directed, how it affects your team. I've seen passion really affect the team in great ways. I've seen bad emotion really destroy a team and destroy a game. So those are a couple of things that come to my mind. I like kids who can play multiple positions. I'm really starting to look at kids in a different light. I like pitchers who can hit. I like people that that are softball players, period. You got to be athletic and you got to have all that stuff, but you can't be a robot, man. You got to be able to play free and have a blast. And so I'm a big fan of organizations, because organizations drop the same type of kids. They either drop kids that are ready or they drop kids that aren't. And so I'm really focused on organizations, the way they work, the way they practice, the way they coach, the way the parents act. These are all things that are really important to us.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's awesome. So, kind of piggybacking that question a little bit, we do the same thing. We practice. I mean, you could ask Dane, his daughter plays on my team specifically. We practice way more than we play because we're about that development and about, the growth and growing, and we push them to edges outside of their comfort zone because we agree. We want to see them fail. We want to see them, rise up from adversity. So you had mentioned parents, and that was kind of a key point I wanted to bring up. How much of a factor are an athlete's parents' behavior in your overall evaluation process?
I'll give you a story without names. There's a very talented 25 kid out there. I don't even need to say the state. She loves OSU. And unfortunately, we will not be calling on September 1st.
Gotcha.
Because I believe that our kids fall out of our tree. And so whether it's your kids or my kid, whoever's kid, like if you're acting
I got
crazily in the stands, I got a feeling that that's probably how you're going to act, especially in times of stress. And so our kids are in stress a lot, right? And so I want to know what stressful looks like. That's why we bring the program in, because they put our kids in these stressful spots that we see some things that you may not see until you're in the 7th inning in OKC. I don't want to learn that then. I want to learn that in the fall so I can help coach that. Because once they're here, they are part of our program. There's no trading them in. It's what we've got. And so it's our job to coach. So I think that may be the best story I could tell you. It's a kid I'd love to have in our program talent wise, but I just don't think it fits the makeup of our program.
I think that's important to hear too, with this platform that Josh and Dane have been able to create, and the amount of viewers and where it goes out to, for parents to really recognize. I know most of them are trying and they believe that they're doing the right thing, but really hearing that, hey, you do have a impact on your child's direction in this sport, whether that be positive or negative. You get to choose what that is. Allow those kids to be coached, allow those kids to handle their situations without having mom and dad breathe down their neck during stressful situations at practice or stressful situations in a game. So to hear you say that, it's a story that unfortunately doesn't have a happy ending for a certain ball player, but it could absolutely change the futures of so many ball players whose parents might be listening to this message right now.
That's good.
Totally agree.
Wow, man. I like it. Dane, we talk about this every time, right? Dane, all my pages of notes. I've got 2 pages of notes. I'm looking at this. Kenny, I'm going to go back and take some things from you and Nate, and I'm going to steal a bunch of these things and make them more bumper stickers, man. So if you see, I got one what do you look like when you fail? That's my next tattoo. No, I'm just kidding. But that was great, man. Coach, I can't say enough, man. We've fallen in love with your program. I have no shame in admitting, even though we're from Norman, I root for you guys every single time I watch you play. Man, I have no shame in that. Now, we'll tell you, I love Gundy, but I'm not rooting for football. But everything else, I got you guys, man. I got you. It's not going to happen, but I will root for you guys.
That's awesome.
I proudly do every single time you guys play. We're going to be there in the fall. We're going to watch you guys play in the fall. I know Shippy talked about maybe having some play in, so we're going to make the trip, man. Grateful to do it. Nate, I think Shippy said this might be a recurring thing too for the camps. Is that right, Nate? Or possibly?
Yeah. We've had some conversations about it, and she was more than gracious with her time with us, and so this is definitely something that we'd love to continue. And I think it's nothing but positives to be able to show that as an opportunity for our girls,
love it,
where they can get to. So, and Riley, who my daughter is all about going to Oklahoma and UCLA, all of a sudden OSU crept into that list. So I figured it had an impact there. So there was an impact.
Man. It. Well, Dane, do you have anything to say in coach in closing? Because that was awesome.
No, I mean, just listening to you guys. I mean, we do this, this program to kind of help that younger generation get to, one day play under you, coach, or coaches like you, or like Coach Nate said, NAIA, Division 2, 3, and we kind of trigger our program to help them learn. But it's always great when you bring on guests like yourself and Coach Nate, that even those of us who are parents or fans or anything of the sport learn something as well. And that you're on the right path and talking to the right people when you get those kind of guests on that can teach everybody something, from the young to the old. And it's just great that you guys came on, and I can't thank you enough for doing that.
No, you got it. I had a blast, guys. Always enjoy this, and I'm down to come on at any time.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Coach,
excellent.
we look forward, like I said, Coach, I'll close on this. My family, I told you this many times. I know I half joke, but when my uncle, who literally was born right outside Norman, said that Gajewski's all right, I knew you're a great guy. When I'm turning people, I'm recruiting people, Coach. It's crazy, man. So I don't know. I'm not even doing it on purpose. It's happening. So, Coach, thank you again. We'll make sure it's the second installment of many. We can't wait to see you guys this fall, and
definitely.
we'll stay in touch. And Coach, thank you for all you do, and much love and continued success. We'll be watching every game. Okay. So
definitely.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Take care, Coach. Have a good night, man. It was good catching up.
Thank you.
Take care.
Best of luck.
So Nate, Dane, what'd you think? It was good catching up, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. I loved it. I mean, what else can you say if a coach to that caliber comes on and kind of spreads more knowledge, and it's even a wider knowledge base than you could imagine. So, I mean, it's great to hear. I love it. And just his attitude at this age, not this age, but this many years of coaching, that he still has that drive to push his players to their outer limits, and always seeking out new ways to do it with, the programs and things like that to push everybody, and not only his team, but the sport of softball to that next level. I mean, you got to take your hat off to a man like that.
Yeah.
Nate, go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I was just say Coach Kenny had some really impactful messages that were in there for those that want to, listen to those messages and apply what he had said, as it pertains to the kids, as it pertains to parents. And, I think those are really, really important to hear from this, that level, because we see it on TV and we just, we don't necessarily think they're real people sometimes. So obviously this platform has an opportunity to bring those real people and their real message and their real voice, to a space where everybody can hear it. And I think, Coach G is about as genuine as a person as I've met or had the opportunity to meet. And, he really truly cares about this sport, really truly cares about, developing young women into, strong and, successful people in the world today. And I think that we could all take, a lot of what he has said and really listen in on that.
Nate, I think about a couple points I wrote down, man. And I remember when your vision, because I've known you biggest part of my life. And I don't just say that, Nate. I don't believe in pandering. I've learned over doing this to be very honest. When you look at someone like yourself, local hero, people look up to you, look at, Coach Skinny. It is cool to see whether it's at 10U, 12U, 14U, or 18U, 21U, however you define that. You guys kind of have a similar philosophy. Your attitude and effort, if you saw that, he kind of said that same thing. And there's times I publicly say it. Nate's had to check me down at games before to help me, give my kid a chance. Step back, I got this. Yeah. And I'm glad that I have coaches at your age, Nate, 10U all up to 21. You guys have that same caliber of message, Nate. So it's you're doing something right, man, because you were in the same school of thought as a Division I top 5. You know what I'm saying, Nate? So
it's pretty cool. I've had lots of conversations with lots of high caliber coaches, especially in the Wichita area, and I think if you look at the success and track record for a lot of those coaches that are developing their kids and have parents that allow those coaches to, coach their children because that's what they signed up for, they all have very similar messages. Every single one of them in private and conversations that we talk about is very much about attitude and effort. I mean, very, very much about those two things being kind of cornerstones into how you develop kids. And, I don't think that message changes if you go, to quality 8U or 6U ball, or if you go all the way up through, Division I. I bet you if you ask Patty herself at OU, she'd probably tell you the exact same thing. That is two major important factors in how they develop. So, if you can get a kid that can give you the best that they have and have the greatest attitude in the world and can shake off the negative things and move forward, you can develop anybody.
Man, you said it, Nate. DJ DJ said it. Remember that, Nate? And then Kenny said it. Talked about the character of how you act off the field. I keep hearing this every person we talk to, and then, you guys. It's not like you guys have the secret society where you talk behind the closed doors. You guys just think that way. That's what coaches do. They think about these things in a different way. I'm not thinking like that. I'm ticked because we're down 2 runs. You're like, hold on, take a deep breath. Give it a second. That's just what you guys do. So it makes sense of why coaches, they have this certain type of DNA. So, Nate, can you believe it's been 150 episodes since we had you last on, man? Isn't that crazy? So
crazy. I'm just not important enough on the list.
Oh man. You're the number one. You're the first one, man. You're the first one. And then every
you guys have done amazing.
Man.
Like I said it when we talked about this idea prior to you actually doing it, and I really have meant it, and I've listened to, I would say, 95% of your episodes. What you're doing is raising awareness in a community, started locally, but expanded a little further than local now. But it raises awareness about the sport, which I'm very passionate about. I firmly believe softball is just a beautiful game. There's so many parallels to life that these young women are gaining early experience on. And, for you guys to bring on, coaches like Coach G and then Shippy and all the players that you've had through here. I mean, it really does give, Wichita and the surrounding areas an opportunity to see, what it is like. This softball's a really tight knit, close community. It is. I mean,
family.
It is. It's family. We preach about family all the time within Chaos, and I know a lot of other organizations do too. I couldn't tell you how many kids I get hugs from going to tournaments that aren't even with us anymore, right? Because we still love and care about those families, right? So it's awesome. I'm glad you guys are doing it. I want you to do another 150 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully I'll make it on episode 300.
Yeah, man. It's kind of a milestone. Every so many episodes we bring back the Godfather, man. We started off and we just thought it'd be iconic to bring you back with, like I said, I meant when I said two of our favorite coaches. But no, man, every time we get a chance to really sit down and pick a great mind like yours, we're thankful for your time too. Because let's be real. You and Coach are just as busy. You have a lot going on. The full-time coaching thing. Yeah. So it's a lot of time out of your day too. So Nate, we appreciate you. We salute you for doing that, and we're glad you stopped by. Okay. So
well, thanks for having me, guys. You guys have been great.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, man. Awesome. Hey, you're welcome to drop off too, man. And we'll be in touch, and we'll see you at practice. Okay.
Sounds good.
Take care, Coach.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Yeah, Dane. So that's man. It's like we're descending down, and now it's just you and me, Dane. I just have to talk to you now. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding, Dane.
It's like old hat. I'm not sure how to take that. Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. Wasn't that a great night, Dane? Isn't that great?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, so much information from two people that you really admire, and by their conversation you see why. So Coach G gives you all the knowledge that he has and can kind of give you something to kind of push you through the next level. And I like the information, like he said, what they look at, during their recruiting process. So that's some great information for parents and players alike to take along with them.
Man, that was epic, man. I have fallen in love with this Oklahoma State softball. Let me be clear, all y'all. Let me take a minute. I love every sport. Let me simmer down. I love Oklahoma softball. I respect them. I love what they do. We have daughters. We talked about this day. We're blessed, and this program has been very good to us. They have been gracious, and so is everyone else. I'm not saying that, but they're digging their way into my heart more every single day. You know what I'm saying? So. I could say this, I would not be upset at all if our kids played there. I would be very proud to put on orange for that. You know what I mean? So this program is amazing. They have so many talented athletes, even working with Scotland. These kids, they give their time for that. When we are at the tournament or the camp, Dane, they're volunteering as well. Just like Nate talked about for the coaches, everyone gives back to the next generation, and that's what makes this softball thing so special. You know what I mean?
It's in great hands, like we always say. And maybe if they go to be Cowgirls, maybe we can call a game or two.
Oh yeah, let's make that happen, Coach.
Yeah, there we go.
We already got to be in the booth. You know what I mean? So let's do it. So, but no, Coach Shippy, Coach Nate, Coach Kenny. On and on, man. We've got a privilege from this organization. Many more, like Coach Kenny said. It'll be a recurring thing at some point, man. So you guys will get a chance. We'll be out there. We'll do some live streaming at some of their fall tournaments. There'll be some play-in stuff, so we'll be there. We'll keep you guys posted. For the single and only, what else do you need? That was a one and done tonight, Dave. Just this beautiful one episode. That's all we need, guys, it was. I'm
so amped up. I'll probably need the rest of the night to kind of bring myself back down. So it was a great one.
That was a great night of softball. You guys, we got some more to come. Speaking of which, tomorrow is also, we made it a promise this week. We always take off in the plane, then we'll bring it back down, to level it out. This week's got a lot of softball. Tomorrow, Dane, I have Jackie stopping by from the Salukis stopping by. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I've got Presley, KU softballer stopping by tomorrow. It's going to be great. So a great night. Joey Chicago sends his love, guys. I've been itching to tell you guys, so the cat's out of the bag. We got a gentleman stopping by from a band y'all have heard of called Pop Evil, stopping by this real soon. He sends his love. He had to reschedule. It's all good. Many, many more to come. And then as we go into next week, we start streamlining into next week. We go into 1 day a week. We'll have Dink stopping by as well from Toby Keith, as well as our buddy from Jimmy Buffett's band. Eric is stopping by from Jimmy Buffett, baby. Let's go. So we're gonna have a little trip around the ocean and all that, have some fun. So it's gonna be a great month, you guys. August is looking great. Lots of music, and then lots more softball and basketball. Coach Broxy from last night, he was actually an Oklahoma State alum, Dane, from Cleveland Cavaliers. Sends his love. Yeah. Of course, we had Steve from Blackstone Cherry last night. So the week has been great, and this was just the icing on the cake tonight. So
definitely.
On behalf of all of you listening, don't forget as always that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.